I'm going to watch that. And I think we are live. Let me get the chat up on my thingy, my bob. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Geek Talk Show episode 2. We have Chosen Flash in the comments section. How you doing, buddy? How you doing? As you were saying, Luke, before I rudely cut you off.
All I want to say before things get going, Jacob's engagement and his followers and subscribers are mental. Don't you think the engagement that I've seen in the past 2 years is stupid? It's mad.
It's brilliant, man. Yeah. After I second that.
Yeah. I mean, there's even crazy folks.
Because I remember when we was going gym back when life was normal.
Yeah, when we were in normality.
What was that? I don't know what you're talking about, mate.
Normal was.
When was that?
And that was our daily routine. It was going to bed up at 7, hitting the gym, early morning workout, then going and grabbing
the day, and then
news agents, and then going home.
And then I'll just go back and I was like, Jacob's already uploaded. I'm like, it was at 3 a.m. And I'm just like, this man doesn't sleep, but what you put in is what you get.
So. Most of the time. Chill season. How you doing? Mm-hmm. But no, it just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. But most of the times I start work at 2 anyway, so it depends if I'm really tired. If I'm really sleepy, I'll end up just dozing off and then just not waking up till about 12 anyway. But if I'm kind of in the zone, I'll end up just banging out content and then go to sleep.
Don't you think work allows that though? So you can kind of, I don't know, you have leeway, so you're fine.
Yeah, kind of taking advantage of the hours that I do. But I mean, it is weird because I'm eating my dinner now. I used to eat 4 or 5. Oh, you're a Cobra Kai fan? Oh, you changed your name. Nice, I like it. Chill season. Nice, not bad. But yeah, it's where to begin? Where do we begin? Who wants to start first?
Well, seeing as
I might let you I might let you kick us off, Stu.
As I think you alluded to before we went live, I think maybe Fast and Furious would be a good start, seeing as we've all. I mean, based on what you said, Jake, I see Luke, you're quite familiar with the Fast and Furious films.
It's my life and quick little backstory.
Right.
That's it.
One time.
So how about we dive into a discussion about the upcoming? I think was it Fast and Furious 9? Yeah, Fast and Furious 9.
They've gone way too far with the numbers. Let's just be honest before we get into it. But quick little anecdote.
I'll look into that door. Carry on, Luke.
Jacob got me. You got me the complete saga, or whatever you want to call it. Complete.
Yeah, I got you a DVD box set. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was is it 7 or 8? But it doesn't matter. But the fact that now there's another one coming after that one, and they have to tie off the story.
Yeah.
At some point, I don't know.
I think I read a report somewhere that it was supposed to be Fast 9 and 10, and now they want to split 10 into 2 parts.
So that would be the end of the.
Yeah. But that's what I said at this point. What you need to do is you need to have Dom driving up the side of a space shuttle. You need to have The Rock sat on the back of the car, and I want you to just use a nitrous boost to send The Rock punching a meteor. At this point, we may as well go to space. Someone said in the comment section of my Fast video, they said, you're bugging if you want to go to space. I said, why not? At this point, we've covered a UAV, a submarine, out of planes. We may as well do it. I mean, Dom somehow calculates the trajectory in which he needs to catch Letty midair by driving his trolley car into the bridge to go flying off the car, catch her midair, then land safely on another. I'm like, right, you're both dead, by the way.
You know what's funny though is that was in the trailer. That was in the trailer for the movie. It wasn't even something that you wouldn't have known that was going to happen. And at that moment, you're like, wait, in 2001 or whenever the first one came out, you're racing around in LA and doing race wars, and now
DVD players. What's up, Lisa? How you doing? Really appreciate all that you give, Lisa. She is one of the nicest subscribers I've ever. She goes back and watches like all the old vids from like a year or two ago. Like, I just see comments pop up on those videos. So really appreciate that, Lisa. I'll look into that Cobra Kai fan. I don't know why you were hidden on my other channel. I'll check it out. But yeah, carry on.
Should we start from like the first movie and kind of almost like, you know how people would rate movies like S, A, B, C, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I suppose we could do that. I suppose we could
like
go
that,
with.
But
what with the?
I'll
we'll
try
start
my
with
best,
the
but
original,
because
I guess.
there's so many, I might miss out a few in the ratings.
well, it does have to be like that. But like for me, the first one, like my dad got it for me, like the movie, and he was like, "Watch this" or whatever. Like not as like a pressure, but like he just said, "Oh, what, like get this movie for like his young boy," and I think it must have been like 5 or something because, yeah, obviously I was only like 1 or 2 when the first one came out, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, I wouldn't have had a single clue of English. But the first one is probably the first one is probably, in my opinion, the best one, hands down. But that's just for me, like being like someone who's like really into cars. But there's just nothing.
I'd say the first one is more of the. It's the one that is the most in line with the car culture. Especially around that time, the early thousands, late 90s, tuners were everywhere. Quarter mile races were everywhere. All the rage, like you don't really see much nowadays, I suppose, unless you go to like a car meet like you do. But
yeah,
you don't really see many of that nowadays. You just see like these, wannabes when they're driving down like the motorway, just and that's about it. Compensating much.
I think that's a joke.
Just see you coughing in the background, Stuart.
I didn't want to disrupt the conversation.
Jacob did it for us, don't worry.
Yeah, but I think the way it's gone, it's kind of at a point now where I'm past the point of like complaining about how different it is from the originals. I'm kind of just sort of enjoying how can they top themselves each movie?
How far in space can they go?
Ridiculous stunt can we pull off? And when the plane catches the car, I'm like, okay, fucking hell, all right. And then Dom's driving. I'm like, oh, come on, like you're Dom, you're Vin Diesel, but come on. And then there's like one of them Indiana Jones like bridges. He somehow whiplashes the front of his car, right, round the mountain, swings up the mountain. He's got to land into that plane, 100%. He's got to land that car straight into that plane, knock it right out the air. It's just crazy how they're topping themselves each time.
I can pose this question: who do you think is going to reach Mars first, the Fast and Furious crew or Elon Musk? Because like, at this rate, they're exploring the galaxy.
They're in a race against time.
I would. Do you know what? I would bet a tenner on Fast and Furious.
Yeah, they're gonna like colonize like Mars, and then.
But at this point, I wouldn't mind if they go to space. At this point, I think it's the only thing left on the list for them to do, and I kind of see them building up to that, especially with them introducing rocket kind of cars now. It was like my ass is in fuego. It just communicates to me. You saw your sister. Didn't you promise the Cobra Kai game? Yeah, I did, but right now I'm just streaming with these guys. I'll do it later on my channel, maybe. But it is interesting. I kind of would like to see them go to that direction. Was your Five Guys good? It was. Shame I lost half my burger and I'm choking on the chips, but other than that, not bad. Pretty good. But yeah, I do feel. What? Do you guys have a favorite car in mind besides the Skyline?
Mm-hmm.
Besides the Skyline,
Do you know what? I don't necessarily. Does it have to be Fast and Furious specific, or just cars in general that you want to see?
Cars in general.
Well, like my favorite. I'm not a massive car person, but my favorite car of all time is an Aston Martin DBS, just because of how it was perceived in the James Bond film Casino Royale. But I don't necessarily. This isn't necessarily answering your question, Jacob. So apologies, but the scene in Fast and Furious 8 when they're on the ice And what's the name of? I forgot. It's been a while since I've watched anything Fast and Furious related. But do you know the guy? I forgot the name of the. Is he? He's called Tyrese, isn't he? The actor.
Yeah.
What's the name of the character that he plays?
Yeah, Roman.
Roman, yeah. And when everybody's on the ice in Fast and Furious 8, and there's these big like what's the word? I forgot what cars they are, but
Like
and he's in like
stuff.
trucks and stuff, and he's in like a red Ferrari.
Shut up, Trish!
That's his character, man.
For some reason, I don't know why, but I just remember this scene in Fast and Furious 8 where they're on the ice and the screen, like the camera pans out, and you see all the different, Jeeps and trucks and all that, and at the very end, you just see this red Ferrari
sliding across the ice. Slipping and sliding all over the damn place. It's like, well, your ass is in an orange Lamborghini. Shut up, Trish!
What about you, Jacob? I think there's several movies to pick from. Like that's my problem.
You see, my problem is aside from coughing on them damn chips, is I probably have to pick a car from each movie.
Yeah, I think that's pretty.
There's so many amazing ones. Like that's one thing I'll say that this franchise does well is no matter where it ends, if you want some of the classic, like the most classic and finest cars to have ever graced the planet, they're in this franchise. Like the one in 7 that Dom and Brian steal, then they jump across buildings, like Transformers.
Yeah, the Lycan.
Yeah, that one. Then there's the just the classic Dodge Charger that survives every movie somehow but gets blown up. The Nissan Skyline, which is our personal favorite. I think the car that Han drives in Tokyo Drift, the one that DK drives, I think the Mustang, and what's the other one? I think the classic one, the Supra. I just love that original tuner sound, just like the original 90s, early thousands, like the really soft sound, not the like loud ones of today, the really soft sort of rhythmic kind of sounds. Brilliant. But so many cars.
Yeah. No, I think I agree with all of the ones that you made, and it's even more real like that someone like my best mate has bought a car from that era, and it's like, oh my god, Fast and Furious, because like the generation that was in those movies or like did that stuff is now like 40 with like kids and stuff, and like they reminisce and we wish that we were them. Because like they got to like live
it's
in that
quite interesting, isn't it? Like they reminisce about it, and we wish we were. It's kind of a generational thingy, isn't it? Badass.
I find myself wishing yeah.
Man,
but I think for me, it have to be like DK, or like his like goon in like the one that beats up.
Oh, what you mean the yellow one?
Yeah,
Morimoto,
like the yellow and gold one. Yeah, he gets run over.
Nice.
Yeah,
he gets like run over.
Up. Yeah, he like kicks the car. Thinks, oh yeah, I'm gonna. He like just kicks the car, and like that scene when Hobbs gets like the pistol to his face, or whatever, and it's like,
yeah. When, I know the scene that you mean. You mean the part where DK realizes that Han's been betraying him this entire time.
Yeah.
Dodgy deals. And he's like, you still be shaking down tea houses. And then Bow Wow goes and pulls the shutter down. And then Sean and Neela are sat in the car and he's like, something, yeah, kicks the car and then he just fucking and then just rolls over.
Just rolls over.
It's like, no, you probably broke an arm there. But what's weird is when they're doing the chase scene, when that guy actually crashes into the car, DK looks at the car wreckage and it looks like he's smiling, like that his friend's been just. It's weird, like it's not what he's supposed to be looking like, but he looks like he's smiling somehow. I think that was just like an accidental kind of thing, the way the camera was angled, because it looked like he was happy. I was like, this is his homie. He's like, well, why is he happy about it? And then all of a sudden he revs the car and goes full speed. I'm like, doesn't really make sense. So he's probably more pissed off. But like,
Jacob.
Isn't it crazy how many times that Han death scene has now been altered? The original intention was it was a blindside by some random traffic. Then we revisit that scene. It turns out it was a hit by Jason Statham's character as revenge, and yada yada yada. Right? So it was a revenge thing. So when you go back and watch Tokyo Drift, you don't see this bold, badass English guy anywhere. You don't see Sean sort of acknowledge there's a bold, badass English guy there. And now the scene's probably going to be changed again because, like, he's dead, by the way. There's no way, like, when Letty was revealed to still be alive, she crawled out the car and then got sent backwards. He was pressed against the floor. Now, I don't know if you've seen the movie, Luke, but I'm sure you have, Stuart. When in Winter Soldier, when Nick Fury's upside down, he gets the cutter and he sort of digs out the car when Bucky's, like, you know, going to probably go and kill him or something. He gets out of there like that. Unless Han has, like, some magical cutter, you know, and he can safely get out. The only way I can see it doing is either they don't show us or they just say he managed to climb out and got blowback.
Yeah, they'll just do like a Letty.
Yeah, like, I mean, at the end of the day, one thing I've always actually liked about the Fast and Furious franchise is that it knows what it is. It knows it's silly. It knows it makes no sense. A lot of the stunts and what happens makes no sense. But yeah.
Thanks, Ali.
That is a great screenshot.
But
that's going to be on as well, Jacob.
I know. Many streams you'll see Ali with that in the chat.
But, like, you know, that's one thing I've always appreciated actually about the Fast and Furious is that it has no limits, so it could just go wild and just, you know, be, you know, just have stunts that make no sense, you know, because I understand that, but I still enjoy it. Like, if it's fun and enjoyable, because the Fast and Furious is a well-established franchise with the already presumption to the audience, yeah, it's just daft, it's silly. Yeah. Then I'm all for it for, like, you know, going to space and stuff like that. But going back to what Jacob was saying with, like, Han, like, if they don't, like, he, as you said, like, he should be dead. Like, he should not be back. Like, it's clear. I mean, I haven't seen Tokyo Drift since, like, 2015. It's been so long.
Oh, yeah, I was when I first got you into it. Man.
Yeah, but, like, you know, if I have to go back and rewatch it, but it's quite well established that that he should be dead. But, you know,
message for you,
like, if they don't necessarily explain it, it will be a bit like, oh, okay, he's back. Okay, cool. But if they say like a simple line like, oh yeah, I just managed to boot the car door out and just slide away, that would be fine with me, because again, it's just you know.
I mean, they've already what's this bullshit going on here?
I don't know what to say.
Do you know this? But do you know this? Do you know this dude? Okay, one sec.
Let me just call the FBI. Let me see what they can pull some strings.
On the news, people with Down syndrome can now get married. Is this another troll in the comments, or is this someone we know? You know what I'm like for trolls.
Jacob loves it.
Oh, I love it. I enjoy it. So, joking. Yeah. Don't get upset. Okay, well, okay, all right. I'm not going to play around with any games in the comments. You know, I'm trying to keep this a nice sort of fun, chill, light-hearted section. And, you know, you being the wanker that you are, I'm going to take you out. Once my chat actually catches up. Come on. I'll give it a minute. Anyway, what you were saying there is chosen. I went to college with Luke.
I didn't go to college, so I don't.
This has gotten really strange. Guys, if you're gonna comment stupid shit, please don't. I cannot be bloody arsed. All right, okay. I work really hard because you're no fun. High user on the channel. Bye bye. All right, that's that. That's that. Whatever the fuck that was is gone. Business as usual. Anyway, guys in the chat, if you see him come back, make sure you karate kick his ass out of the chat. Anyway, back to the point. What you were saying there about Han's death, sort of
What's it?
just being glossed over now. At this point, I don't mind. You know, they took the guy and his family that pretty much, you know, killed him. So
yeah, like that's the thing. Like, you know, they took in Jason Statham's character, who, you know, like he killed Han until we knew in Fast and Furious 9. He killed Han, yet now they see him as part of the family. It's just, again, it makes no sense. But like,
yeah,
you know, it's cool because I love that
you
scene
got
of
to
Fast.
take him into a good guy, innit?
Yeah, like when you had Jason Statham and his brother. I forgot his brother's name, but when they're in the
Luke,
airplane fight, I thought that was awesome. I love the fact that it had him and his brother come back and fight off and take the
If I
baby.
don't go get any ideas, you and planes don't have a good history. No shit.
So yeah, I mean, what did you guys think of the Fast and Furious 9 trailer? You know, like as a whole, and you know, what are you expecting from it? You know,
I think before Jacob pulls the exact same thing he says from his YouTube video, one, Dom's brother being bloody John Cena. Like,
that's awesome.
I mean,
That's
it's,
awesome.
it's mad, but like, it's like they've taken 8 movies, and now on the 9th one, it's like, oh my god, I have a brother that I've never talked about once in the whole movie franchise.
Yeah,
And then 2,
never alluded to, never foreshadowed, but now it's here.
and then now the whole thing we've just been talking about, Han being alive, which is like, what? I mean, if Shaw, or whatever his name is, can survive that freaking thing out the plane when he gets pushed off out the plane and shot or whatever in like 8, then or whatever it is 7, I can't even remember at this rate. If that can happen, anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you may as well You may as well bring back Giselle. You may as well bring back Han's missus.
Yeah.
You may as well.
Yeah.
You know, give him a
I mean,
happy
her
ending.
last movie didn't do very good, so she might need to come back.
Oh, did it really? What, like in sales wise? Like sales wise, money?
Shit. It's such a.
Well, you don't think it's a good film?
Personally, I don't rate it.
Fair enough. I mean, this is weird because it's actually my favorite out of all of them. But you know,
It may surprise you, I haven't actually seen it yet.
You know, but like, I think I'm probably in the minority
One
of
minute.
the Fast and Furious fandom. But I actually, like a lot of people in the Fast, I get the impression that a lot of the fans of Fast and Furious films, they preferred the first few films where it was more about the car racing and stuff like that. And then it started to transition more to just like action and fights.
Basically, the Expendables with cars.
Yeah. And I actually prefer the later films than the older films. Like, I think the older films are better as films, but I enjoy more the new films and the new, like, the action and stuff like that. But I agree. It would be great to see Giselle again, because Han deserves an happy ending. Come on, man. It's Han, you know?
I mean, hey, that's the part that got me the most hyped. As soon as I saw Han, I gotta be real with you, my logic of how he survived went out the window. I was like, yes!
Yeah. And the thing is, though, I think they had to bring him back because a lot of people have gone. Like The Rock, there's talk. I don't know if Dwayne Johnson is ever going to.
They'll be back for the next one for sure. I think the cast, whatever beef they had, they buried it. So I think more or less they'll be back for the next one, and then you'll have like, oh god, how cool is this? Cena and Rock thrice in a lifetime. You know, like in that big WrestleMania, once in a lifetime, twice in a lifetime, and now they're going to be like, hey, have we ever fought each other before? I don't know, have we? Oh.
Oh, that'll be cool to see. Definitely. Did you guys watch? What did you guys think of Hobbs and Shaw?
Oh, it was fun.
I thought it was so much better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, this is where the franchise is at now. It's just like you've got basically the Terminator, in these movies. Like you may as well. That's why you may as well go to space. But I really enjoyed it. It was just fun because the movie utilized both of it's not Hobbs and Shaw. It's The Rock and Statham. They're almost at the point now where they're caricatures of themselves, and Statham's the cracking the eggs slowly on the pan in the morning kind of guy and enjoying a pint at lunch, while The Rock's buddy drinking like coffee beans and lifting weights and all that. Just seeing the difference in how they both approach the situation. The Rock's kind of solution is to go in there and just throw everyone around. And Statham's solution is to just grab a champagne bottle and stick it in someone's throat.
I think what was so good about that film, in my opinion, was the chemistry between the two characters.
So what sold the film?
They played off each other so well. It was, and again, I'm a sucker for cool action stuff, so the action in that film was so good.
The scenes in that movie were pretty good.
I went in with that movie thinking I have the worst expectation because of the previous movies that kind of fit in between what it's trying to do, a little side avenue. But then when finishing, I'm like, it's not that bad. Hey, it's better than 7 and 8. Can't complain.
I mean, it's one thing. Sorry, Jacob, go ahead, mate.
No, go ahead, buddy. I was gonna.
Personally, for me, there's been 2 spin-off films in the past few years. When I first heard they were coming out, I sort of wrongly just already written it off. Yeah, it'll be fun, it'll be enjoyable, but it'll be very, very meh, average. One of them was Hobbs and Shaw, which again, it's arguably one of my favorite of the Fast and Furious franchises as a whole. And then there was obviously Bumblebee. And then there was
I own your soul.
And then there was the Bumblebee film, which is slightly off topic, but just which was a spin-off.
Oh, you remember how much I was geeking out at that opening?
Yeah, when I first heard of it, they announced it, I was because a lot of the Transformers films, live action films, personally, I don't think aren't particularly good, apart from the first one. They're fun, and enjoyable. You can have fun, but I think the first one is
the
really
sex
fun.
jokes, the stereotypes, other stuff.
When I was in school, I'd watch that every day after school. Before I start revising, I literally watch that one, only for one reason. But Jacob, and you can think of why. But it just rhymes with laying on a motorbike.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think that's a very good reason to watch it.
I mean, when you're a young boy, you have any.
Well, I remember. Now you mention it, I do remember telling someone in school. How long have you known Jacob, LK? How long have you known me, LK?
I'm trying to think, 3-4 years now, maybe. No, it's got to be longer. Properly, I don't know.
You know when it was? October 2018.
Yeah.
Let me tell you the story of me and this guy meeting, Stuart. You're right. This was the most awkward encounter I've ever had in my life. Right? We both coincidentally went to the same gym. We'd always bump into each other. And I was staring at him, wondering, what the fuck is this guy looking at me for? And he was staring at me, wondering why the fuck I was looking at him. So we're both sort of acknowledging each other, but not really saying anything. And then we had a mutual friend that sort of got us to break the ice, in a sense. And then we got to talking. And then I think it was it that same day? I think it was the next session that we, after that, we started training at the gym. Yeah, I think it was the one after, wasn't
it? It was really quickly, the way we picked up. It wasn't a, oh, hey.
I remember the conversation going on for at least about 20 minutes, and then we're like, oh shit, yeah, we're here to lift like weights and stare at the nice ladies over there, you know. But then we got back to work. But yeah, that's kind of how it started. It started with just like awkward staring, and you know, you were wearing like a tropical kind of vest. It was like this really sort of glamorous tropical vest, and I'm there in my skinny shirt and my buzz cut and.
Oh my god, Jake!
Go tell Stuart what you thought I looked like. Go on.
All right, Sid from Toy Story 1. He looked exactly. He just needed like the skull and crossbones.
Yeah, I was thinking, let's go home and play.
Get a picture.
Like it was uncanny because Jacob back then, his like, this is not being rude, but like his face was more like blemished and stuff, and it like fitted like the teenage character perfectly. And obviously he's matured and he's a dashing young fella. Get him on Instagram. But like
damn straight.
Yeah.
Yep.
He just looked like Sid, and there's a picture I've got of him somewhere.
Do you know? Oh yeah, I remember when it was not long after I got a buzz cut, and you said, and I took the picture, and months later I put it on Instagram and I said to buzz or not to buzz. One of my friends, Miguel, said, "Buzz that shit, boy," and you're like, "God no." Oh man, fucking Sid from Toy Story. When I heard that at first, I was cracking up with laughter. I was like,
never
Jesus.
gonna see that now.
No, I know. Just look at any old photo of me. Just picture like a skull on a shirt. Just picture it, you know. I'll tell you what, I'll set the scene. Give me a toy or something.
Jacob realized like at first I was like really blunt. Like I wouldn't like be the kind of person I would just go like navigating around like a point. I would just say like how it is. And Jacob is very sharp and like blunt, if that makes sense. Like really quick with things, but he's like he just gets straight to the point. And then immediately he was like, "Oh, I really like you. Like we're mates." Then we just started chatting shit all the time.
Yeah, that's why it works, isn't it? What would it be? Super strength. All day, that's every day. Huh? Well, what's yours?
Well, have you watched Rick and Morty?
Sometimes, not a lot.
I've heard of it. I've heard it's brilliant. I've heard it's very funny.
Jacob.
As you were saying, Luke.
I think we should move on topic. I don't really have.
Yeah, man. You called me bloody Sid, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this dude right here. Fuck. But like you called me like Sid like probably not too long ago, innit? But our conversations just kind of sparked in the gym. I revived your interest in we started geeking out on the Clone Wars, sort of like how me and you did in the pub that time, Stuart. I remember me and Stuart, we were sat in the pub, and I was just showing him clips of like Clone Wars and how like Grievous and all those characters, all the jewels and stuff. Similar for us.
Because I remember I watched the Clone Wars movie, the animated one, you know, like the one where like they're defending like this battle station, Jacob. And
yeah. With the little hut,
overrun, and then and that was what my introduction to was. And I was like, wait, this is a series, and then went through like every single episode, and I was like watching it kind of in parallel to when you was watching it because of the last season, because that's when it bridges the gap between.
Okay. Welcome.
Sorry if I mispronounced that name, by the way.
No, I probably did as well.
But I think it's seriously underrated, though.
Well, the movie or the show?
Both. Because you said both, I'm literally going to say both, because the movie...
I think a lot of people's problems with the movie kind of stem from the fact that it was actually meant to be 3 episodes of TV. Like it was meant to be like 3 separate episodes, I think, and then they just conjoined it. Everyone welcome Key Mark in the chat. Raise a pint to him or her. And do I have another channel chosen? Yeah, I have the main one, the chosen one. Hang on, let me link it in the thing in a second. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so they basically had it as 3 episodes, and then they kind of went from there to what it is now. And just seeing how the show matures season by season, and it's just that final season, like I wanted just a little bit more to link in with Revenge of the Sith, but what we got was so powerful that fucking hell, man, it was amazing. Just seeing it all come to a head.
Have you seen that video?
Brilliant. There's the link in the chat. You can go and sub over there, mate. What's that?
Have you seen the video where it's like on YouTube? It's the title is literally like Star Wars Clone Wars is for kids, and it's just like 5-6 minutes.
Yeah,
of like just
I've seen that one.
Everything. And I was like,
yeah, they just show you pretty much the whole brutality of it.
And I was like, I don't remember this being like as bad. It's
yeah. You won't find most of that on Clone, like the Cartoon Network stuff now.
Nah.
It's surprising how much they actually got away with.
Yeah.
They got away with quite a lot.
By the way, Luke, have you finished? Did you watch season 7 last year?
There's the other channel, mate, in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, because when Jacob was doing his like videos on it, I was like, wait, season 7, and I was like so out of touch, and I got Disney Plus, and I was like, time to binge.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't watched like the entirety of Clone Wars. I've only watched mainly clips, because I'm lazy and I can't be asked to watch all those episodes, even if you can skip some of them. But from what I've watched, seen of the Clone Wars, and anybody that it's been a year since Clone Wars season 7 aired. But spoilers for the finale of Clone Wars season.
Great,
But one scene that I actually started feeling like emotionally depressed after was when Vader sees like the ship that I think Ahsoka was on.
Yeah.
And he looks down and sees her lightsaber and picks it up, and then it ignites it, and then he looks up and sees like the bird flying, and with the music playing and everything. Like when I've watched that scene, I actually felt like quite depressed because that was not Vader. That was Anakin. Like in that one, because Vader, because like,
fresh.
Yeah, because like Vader,
you know, your own Vader. Damn straight, chosen Vader karate. That's it. Carry on.
No, but it's like, you know, obviously Vader and Anakin, they're obviously different personalities. Really, they're different characters entirely.
Yeah, two sides of the same coin.
So like, when you see what I think so was, you can see the emotion and the thoughts and the what's the word?
Just without words alone, you know, this is a great example of why sometimes you don't need dialogue in a scene. Just him looking is more than enough. And the bird that was flying round is actually the owl that had a part in saving Ahsoka's life.
Ah, okay.
That's why he saw the owl called Morai, I think.
So that's the one I was thinking of, regret. You could see the regret behind all that mask and all that armor. It's just such a good scene. I love that scene.
And you know, this all could be stopped if Samuel Jackson was just like a little bit further forward with his lightsaber.
Yeah, if he didn't like, you know, I'm going to end this, if he's just like, psh, it would have also been better if Anakin didn't, you know, come in and fuck the whole thing up. I need him. No, you don't. Bye-bye.
You know what's funny?
Like, you missed the dead Jedi in the next room.
Like, as a kid, you're like, wait, when Palpatine is like the Emperor, you're like, oh my god, this is the greatest spin of all time. And then when you're like watching it back for like the 15th, 200th time, whatever, probably in your case, Jacob, you're like, how do you not know from episode 1 Phantom Menace? How do you not know he's like this?
Yeah, like it's got to have been so like blatant. It's like they genuinely are stupid. Like I honest to God, I really don't know. Like it's just ridiculous. It just goes to show you how good Palpatine actually is at manipulation, and just the fact that the Jedi were so stuck in their own way and so arrogant. You know, the Sith have been extinct for over a millennium. I do not believe the Sith could have returned without us knowing, and that's exactly why you fucking lost. This is a great example of them, you know, did they deserve Order 66 because of just their complete, ignorance on the subject matter. But just seeing how Palpatine masters the whole thing from start to finish, even if you're including the sequels, just like from start to finish, what a dude.
Well, the best villains of all time, in my opinion. Like on screen, anyway. Just how he planned everything.
The original trilogy, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. The original trilogy, sequel trilogy.
You don't really get to see him. You don't get to see him as Darth Sidious. You see him as Palpatine, like almost like aspiring overlord of the world, because he knows like it's like a game of chess. He's like got everything like lined up and everything, but like
he's got all the chess pieces moving across the board.
He played Anakin like a fiddle, and he just
because the thing is that Anakin essentially is his rival. Like he is the one that is meant to, obviously Disney must have kind of forgotten that part. But he's meant to be the one that is his rival. So Palpatine knows if I kill him, the Force is just going to correct this. The Force is just going to bring me another Anakin Skywalker to get rid of me. So what does he do? He lures him to the dark side instead to double the strength of it. And that's how you get Luke and Leia, twins, 2 and 2. Because by that point, Obi-Wan and Yoda go into exile. They become like nomads. Yeah.
Because obviously,
so like he sways him just because he needs him.
Have any of you seen? I think it was in one of the Vader comics that Marvel did, which is canon.
Yay!
Where, I think. I think Anakin or Vader is in like a dream sequence where he goes into like this other realm or whatever. I can't remember. And there's it was a strong theory before, but now people are more like, when it came out, saying, okay, Darth Sidious might really have created Anakin because
I know what you're on about.
Yeah, because of the way it was portrayed in like the comic and the art and the dialogue. So. And like in the original, well, not in the original, I don't know if it was the original, but in one of the cut off lines or scripts from Revenge of the Sith, Darth Sidious, Palpatine was meant to be Anakin's father originally. So, which is interesting because like there's another theory that, and this is probably not because it's not the book is unfortunately not canon anymore. But have you ever heard of the Darth Plagueis Star Wars book?
Yeah,
I don't know if either of you read it.
I have.
So like
right there.
Yeah, like I haven't finished. I got it like back in 2017. Never finished it. But what I read of it, I thought it was good. But apparently, there's spoiler alert, a scene, or not a scene. It's in the book, but a part in the book where Darth Plagueis tries to create like this ultimate Force entity. And the Force fights back and creates something else. And the theory is that Plagueis indirectly created Anakin because he tried to meddle with the Force so much.
You see, this is the stuff that would have been actually expanded on if George Lucas's one of his original concepts was exploring the wills of the Force and how midichlorians are actually used. And I think Anakin would have probably been in the original sequel outline, maybe not much, but he would have been in it, and it would have given more context to how he came to be. Shmi's line is essentially just there was no father, just out of nowhere. And it's a bit creepy when you think that maybe not necessarily Palpatine or even Plagueis, but the Force itself created Anakin in some random woman as a response to the growing emergence of the dark side. It's creepy. It's creepy, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think of the like George Lucas's original plans for the next sequel of films before Disney bought it? Because I suppose no matter what they would have released, people would have still hated it. But I think because it comes from George Lucas, we can kind of say, look, you know what? I may not like it, but it's his story, and he's kind of told the beginning, middle, and end. But with Disney doing it, it feels like you've given your keys to the kids, and then they've just kind of gone on a joyride, and they've kind of just gone their own way and done other stuff, and you enjoy it, but you're just kind of like, oh yeah, you've got the car now, but it's still in Dad's name, just saying.
Yeah, it's interesting because like, if I knew what to expect from the sequel trilogies, I would have immediately gone with George Lucas's vision. Because there's enjoyment to be had.
Lisa, that show's hilarious.
Oh yeah, I've heard that's really fun.
The Christmas special. Mammy.
Mammy, Father, I have to confess a sin. But carrying as you were saying, Stuart.
It's just like there's enjoyment to be had in the sequel trilogy. Like it's not all bad. I mean, personally, I thought Force Awakens was good. Last Jedi I thought was not really that good at all. That's just my opinion. And I thought The Rise of Skywalker was all right. But if people in the comment section, people that watch this video, if you like the sequel trilogies, that's cool, man. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. But if I knew what to expect from the sequel trilogies prior to it, I would have immediately gone with the wills and stuff like that, because at least there would have been like a plan and a continuity between the three films. Because I think that was the main problem with the sequel trilogy, is that each film feels completely different from each other when it's meant to be a trilogy. They didn't, and they clearly, most likely, didn't have a plan. So if like the next three films were George Lucas's vision with going into like the wheels of the Force and stuff like that, regardless of whether people may have thought it would have been good or not good, the general consensus, at least it had a plan, and each film builded upon the other, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Each film kind of added.
But after like looking retrospectively, I can't not be disappointed in the past three movies that we've had, and I don't know if anyone shares that opinion, but like,
well, I mean, for me, like, because I care so much about the brand itself, like I'll find the positive of most of the situation, and I enjoy them. Like each movie, I think brings something to the table. Like I think Force Awakens is a good. We got Mohammed in here. What's up? How you doing, dude? Got Batman.
What's up,
I think The Force Awakens, whether you like it or not, or agree with it or not, it's a good first act. It's a very good, solid foundation for the trilogy. But I was always skeptical since that movie, because I know what J.J. Abrams is like, and his philosophy is mystery box. It's let's create all these mysteries, and they just couldn't answer them in a very meaningful and satisfying way, because it felt like, Rey's parents, they could be someone. It's emphasized. Who's Snoke? Who is this guy? Last Jedi comes along. It's a great cinema experience, but when you're looking at the story's cohesion, it doesn't feel organic. It just feels like pretty much what they did with the trilogy, right? Each movie, one by one, was okay. So everything that was happening, we're going to take a bit of that. We're going to take a bit of that. Finn and Rey, Finn and Rose, throw that over there. Ben and Rey somehow put that here. Force ghosts that are now talking that were never alluded to be Force ghosts. Let's put that in there. Han not being acknowledged, even though he's Luke's best friend. Let's delete that scene, but we'll leave the scene in of him sucking tits. It's just all these little things that I fundamentally disagree with on a very just basic level, where it's like the scene where and God bless Mark Hamill, his acting in The Last Jedi was amazing, regardless of the movie. And the deleted scene of him of Luke remembering Han, I'm just thinking to myself, why was that not in there? Why? That scene was perfect. But The Force Awakens ended with the direction Mark Hamill got was he's tearing up, he's looking at the camera, he's looking at his father's saber that he hasn't seen in fuck knows how long, and when he did, he lost his arm. And then you cut to The Last Jedi, that face is gone, and then he just takes the loss. Basically, The Force Awakens was like this. JJ's like, here's everything for you. And Ryan comes on and goes, and I don't know if I sent you the video of this, I don't want any of this. and out it went. Here's what I'm doing. You can't do that.
No, but it's true. Like it's, I mean,
and then Rise of Skywalker just attempts to basically retcon. Like it adds to some stuff, like the Force Skyping between Rey and Ben, but ultimately it starts taking stuff that, like, it just didn't follow through on some of the stuff that The Last Jedi set up. It felt like we're beginning again, and I think that's the problem when you don't have a plan. And thank God for the Cobra Kai creators, because even though season 4 is inbound, and regardless of the result of that season, I still trust them for the other 2 seasons because they have a roadmap. They know where they're going. They know where they want to take it. And the sequel trilogy can just be used as like, okay, we know what works. We know what doesn't. And, you know, time will be good to these movies. The kids who grow up with these movies will like them one day. And that's that. Go ahead, Stu.
No, but like, you know, sorry, Luke, go ahead. I've been talking for
no, sorry. I was going to say, don't you think that the past 3 movies are going to have like the prequel effect where like at first people kind of were meh.
Oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
There's like people on this side, people on that side, and then Jacob is like someone that kind of like opened my eyes more to the prequels, because like I was kind of like they're good movies, but didn't really take them for what they were. I just kind of was like, I'm just like a normal viewer. And then with these ones, it's like I think it's gonna have like the prequel effect where like at first you're like, then when you go back to it, like actually they're not too bad. Like the direction was good, but it's just like the execution, and it will never be as good as like the original trilogy, because I think that was like where George Lucas was like really hungry for like movie making Star Wars. Like he made like the universe come alive, and especially like back in what 80s, isn't it?
Oh, do you know what? If I had a time machine, I would go back to opening night, 1977. Could you imagine being a kid or just anyone seeing that original movie for the first time? Oh God, that would have been everything.
I mean, even not just adding on to your point, Jacob, not just like kids, but just people in general. Like my dad, you know, he's 60 plus, bless him, and when he first saw it, he was just, I think, I mean, I can't, my maths isn't good, but I think he was like in his 30s or 20s, something like that, when he first saw it. Something like that had never been in cinema before back then. And what my dad did, I think so, is that he saw it and he went back and saw it the next day. Damn. Because it was just so like different. Like this has never been seen before in cinema before. So it would have been some spectacle. Definitely.
Yeah. Just in the opening shot, I love that opening shot so much. Oh, it's so simple. And if you're introducing someone to Star Wars, like because of the way special effects are now and everything, you look at it and you go, "What's all the hype about?" It's like, just wait, watch, and then eventually they get sucked in. Eventually, but it feels like each trilogy meant to revolutionize something. Like because of the original trilogy, we then started getting more like space films. We started getting more like miniatures being used, more a blend of CGI being involved with props and with replicas. And then by the time of the prequels, and I say without Jar Jar, we have no Thanos. Like that dude, you know, without him, we don't get that. Without him. There was like the technology for that was only just starting to come about at the late 90s. So it felt like George was adding something to the industry as well. And I remember watching a documentary, and he wanted to make sure that once the movie was finished, that it could be done at like cheaper prices for other people who are in the industry and stuff. And, you know, now we're in the age nowadays where like Kong and Godzilla are duking it out, and it looks fucking amazing.
Oh, I can't wait for that. I cannot wait for that. It's going to be a while until we can see it in the UK, though, legally, because it's coming out on HBO Max and in cinemas in the US, I believe, on March the 31st. But because of the current roadmap for the lockdown in the UK, obviously, I don't think cinemas are open until like in May.
Yeah, so, sometime around then.
We're going to have to watch it on like some dodgy website or whatever, which I think is what a lot of people will do. I'll try not to. But I
might have to just hold out for a cinema watch, even if I have to. Yeah, it's just like one of them movies you can't. It doesn't have the same effect if you're watching it. on this. It's like these are God.
With any film, like I think personally for me, in order for me to fully judge a film, I have to watch it in the cinema.
Yeah,
I can't watch it on the screen unless I've already seen it.
Because most films are designed with cinema experience in mind. I mean, I know when you two have seen The Rise of Skywalker, just because it's a good example. When Palpatine's like, "Nah, we'll stop the return of that," and then he lightnings the sky. The bass drop on that, the cinema was shaking. I was like, "Fucking hell!" When did Star Wars turn into a musical concert? It was just like, I was like, "Damn!"
Oh man.
Those scenes were so good. Like when it was like almost like lightning effects, and it was like this horror kind of feel to it. It was like, oh my god, the Emperor is like
overpowered as shit.
Palpatine is like alive, and he's like resurrected somehow magically, and then somehow raise his daughter. Like,
yeah,
that was never planned. I'm sorry. Like, they can say, oh, yeah, Kathleen. Kathleen Kennedy could say, yeah, it was planned, but
it was so perfect to be like Obi-Wan Kenobi's like.
I would have much preferred that.
Because like what's like the woman his like love interest was from the Mandalore people.
Wait, what's that?
I know the character you're referring to. I just can't remember her name.
Jacob.
Satine.
Yeah, because inadvertently, obviously, they have like a relationship or whatever, and you would think, oh, maybe they'd have like a kid. They have like a high methchlorine count, therefore a Force user simple. But no, they had to bootstrap that as, oh, actually, it's Sidious's daughter.
I mean, the whole explanation for it is just an example of like the lack of planning, and this is where show business really takes precedence over creativity. And it felt like as soon as they made the sale, right? As soon as George made the sale, and then they got the brand, they thought, right, straight away, movie, bang, let's do it. So they did The Force Awakens, and it's not like there's prequel references in The Force Awakens. There's prequel Easter eggs. There's a lot of similar scenes between Force Awakens and Phantom Menace. But Force Awakens in itself is more of the same formula of the original movie. And it's done with the intentional creative choice because we were around that time where, people didn't really like the prequels. There was a lot of disdain. There was a lot of, hate towards them. And then obviously myself grew up a little bit more and we're like, well, hey, I actually enjoy Jar Jar being a goofball. That's not completely accurate. Don't agree with that at all. I object to that statement. And then we got to The Last Jedi, and now they're seen as like the memes of the prequels are just absolutely amazing. Like it's just there is no brand which I can see that has the level of memes that the prequels do. It's nothing. Like,
well, hello there.
The high ground. This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them. All of it.
If it wasn't for the prequels, I remember. Now, in my opinion, Twitter can be real toxic at times, but there was this one bit where I was just like, "That is genius." Where it was on a tweet that I think someone on the back, I think a tweet from the Star Wars Battlefront 2 Twitter account, and how do I describe this? Basically, somebody typed in H, then somebody responded to E, then L.
Oh yeah,
L. And actually there was a whole load of conversation with one letter for each thing, and it was hello there, General Kenobi. And I think there was like a whole conversation.
You are an old one.
Yeah.
I remember the thread, the whole thing followed all the way down.
Conversation. I was just like, if it wasn't for the prequels, we wouldn't have had that hilarious conversation there.
That is the stuff I live for right there. It was brilliant. It's just like, because it wasn't like sentence. It was literally letter perfect. Yeah. Letter by letter by like people actually thought, no, even though it's Twitter, we're not going to be arseholes today. we're going to let people enjoy stuff, then hello there, you know. I was like, God damn, brilliance. Mwah, brilliance. I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, I'm an avid prequel I don't even think you have to be a prequel defender anymore.
No.
But I will say this: some of those scenes, mainly in Attack of the Clones, I think the scenes with the creepy staring, some of the romantic dialogue, I think that might have worked better.
So in love with you.
Oh god, in Revenge of the Sith, Imoni's like, no, because I'm so in love with you. I'm like, George, no, you don't talk like that to women. You don't do that. And that's like you're madly in love. But like if but majority of people know. Like if you watch the prequels as silent movies, I'd say they're masterpieces. But if you watch them with the sound on,
I think
the odd cringe.
You know, we say like, George Lucas's dialogue isn't the greatest, and I agree with that, but he's a great visionary. He's a great like his designs and his worlds and all that is just so imaginative. And
I mean, the sequels couldn't even touch him.
Like that's why I think The Mandalorian works so well, because you've got three people. You've got many other people, the cast and crew, everybody that works behind it, but to my knowledge, you've got three main people. You've got Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, George Lucas. Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, they're doing the directing, the script, and all that. And then you've got George Lucas as a consultant, so you can have him like doing like the world building, the design, the suits, the aliens, and all that. And you can leave the story elements to Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. It's just the perfect trio right there.
It's the perfect group right there.
But even then, like I say that, but if it's okay to slightly go off topic, Jacob, like with the High Republic, the new Star Wars. Luke, do you know about Star Wars: The High Republic? That's just started that is it's obviously Disney's, their full-on take on Star Wars and their vision, and obviously it takes place like I think 2 centuries or 200 years.
200 years before the Phantom Menace, I believe.
Yeah, so it's their own vision of how they do it, and while like what we were saying earlier about like the sequel trilogy is one thing I do believe. Maybe I'm being a bit foolish here. I could be wrong, but one thing I do believe is that Disney this time have a plan. They know where they want to take the story with the High Republic. Like I've read like The Light of the Jedi, and I'm reading at the moment Into the Dark, 2 novels. And for what I've seen, because they're doing it across multiple publishers, different formats. They're doing comic books. They're doing a manga. They're not just doing, novels and stuff.
Lisa.
They've taken. Yeah, I agree with that. 80s music, classic. They're doing. They've got a plan set in motion, and that's one thing I can really appreciate, that they've actually got.
On what you're saying there, Stuart, I think, as Mohammed says here, this is what all these Star Wars shows like The Mandalorian are building to. I think this is what they're building to. I think that they're literally planting the seeds for their own kind of everything's an MCU now. Their own MCU version of their sequels before the sequels, kind of thing. Like I feel like that's what is being set up with the shows. But in regards to like you were saying there with the Light of the Jedi and all that, I think it's good in a way. Like I can understand fan outrage, but most Star Wars fans cry at every bloody thing. I think it's good that they're allowing themselves for a fresh start. And I think the Old Republic, as cool as it is, I feel like if you're going to do that, you do shows or you do movies, but you let the dust settle a little bit because it's so saturated, that part of the timeline. The High Republic is an era that hasn't really been explored. And I'd be interested to see what they would hold in store for Yoda, because by that time he's only like 400 or 600 or something. Like he's a bit younger. So maybe he's like, brash I am, or some idiot, maybe just like a total scoundrel. And then he develops into the wise mentor.
Like the difference between High and Old Republic, like, is it like a long difference in time in terms of like what's happening?
The Old Republic is millennia ago, so it's like thousands of years ago. So the Old Republic can pretty much cover any time from the inception of the Jedi and the Sith up until probably about 1,000 years before Phantom Menace, around that time. So you got a whole window there of, and I remember getting you back into the Star Wars hype, Stuart, with people like Darth Nihilus, all the Darth Nihilus especially. Like this dude could suck the life out of an entire planet.
Have you heard his voice?
Oh, yeah. Because he speaks in Sith.
Yeah.
He literally speaks in Sith.
Like
He speaks in like pure
this
Sith.
guy he's more scary than Palpatine. He's the scariest Sith Lord I've ever seen.
Because you can't even, like, his mask is so well designed, you can't even see his face. Like, there's a person in there, but you can't see it.
His story is fascinating as well, from what I read of it.
Oh, you're looking at it now, Luke?
Yeah.
Looks good, doesn't he?
Yeah, like I've seen this on like some sort of thumbnail, or like, you know, and you're just like scrolling around, like, oh my god! But
Oh my god!
I assume you played
Thanks,
Old
Lisa.
Republic then.
That's sweet.
I haven't played. So was that your question, Luke? Have you played the Old Republic?
Yeah, like the RPG.
I haven't played it. No,
Yeah,
don't know
Sith
why.
have their own language.
But yeah,
Like,
I've heard it's really good.
Which Old Republic do you guys mean? Because I know multiple. Do you mean the MMO that was on the computers?
MMO.
The cutscenes I've seen, and that I want movies of. I remember showing you that, Stu.
Darth Malgus, man. Darth Malgus.
Dude, do you know what Darth Malgus is? He's if Anakin was just in Vader's suit, not if he was full Vader. He's if Anakin was in Vader's suit.
Hood up and everything. It's just.
I know, he's like Bane mixed with Vader, mixed with Anakin. Like, he's a mixture of those three, and he just,
Emperor of this shit.
I need a movie.
There was Emperor Vitiate. I think he's got another name as well.
Yeah, Vitiate. Yeah, the Valkorian or something.
Yeah. What was that?
Yeah.
Sorry, Luke.
No, I was gonna say when Jacob said about like the YouTube cinematic part, like that they moved onto YouTube, and it's like it creates like a 5-minute story, and there's so much happening, and you're like, wait, can this just be like?
I like the one of the two brothers.
The two brothers, yeah, and then. I don't want to like say it, but I mean it's been out for years. But like their betrayal on their father and everything, and it's just like, nah.
What's great about that though is the two brothers. You know how like there's a stereotype in movies or shows how white represents light and black represents dark, like clothing wise. The one with the white clothing is the one who descends to the dark, and the one with the black clothing is the one who dies. Like it's an interesting reversal. From it all, but I love their sabers. I love I've always been fascinated, and this is what I was so hoping for the sequel trilogy to go with. Oh, let me just read this quick. Pong Kelly was a D-bag. Pong Krell. Oh, Pong Krell, yeah, the guy with the double dual sabers. That dude. And this is why I was hoping that the sequel trilogy was going for was a third faction, not Jedi, not Sith. Something different, something that, like, these dudes literally go around killing everyone. They don't care if you're Jedi or Sith, they'll take you all out. They're pretty much like Lockdown from Transformers Age of Extinction. Hates them both. Essentially like that, you know, they'll just literally go and take you both out. Like, I thought that was cool, because the universe, you know, it's a bit like how the world is nowadays. It's like, no, hold on. There's more, you know, there's more sides than just one or two, you know. There's not just Sith and Jedi. There's other things at play. So I thought, right, Sith and Jedi, you throw someone right in the middle. Like, how cool is that? Just a third faction that basically says, a lot of you, out you go. I think that'd be so cool.
By the way, if it's just I think I'm going to dip, if that's all right.
No problem, man.
So Jacob, thanks as always for having me on, man. And Luke, it's a pleasure to meet you, man. And have a good rest of the stream.
Yeah, thanks for popping in, Stu. Everyone say goodbye to Stuart in the chat. He's my broski. Also, Stuart, before you go, hey. Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say.
It's all right, I'll say it for you. The eggplant emoji is not just a...
Eggplant? There we go.
Oh,
and then
never to.
Yeah.
I watched
You got it.
because
You
last time
knew
I was like,
exactly where we're going with
trying
that.
to, yeah. You and Ty were like, wait, hold on, who's saying what?
Yeah, because that's the thing. When it gets to 2, it's like, and then there was 2. But Stuart, if you're still watching, thanks for popping in, man. I agree with that. Mohammed. That's a good analogy. But yeah, man, like, there's just so much cool stuff with like the Star Wars lore. I really hope they go forward with that.
It's mad how like both of you know not everything, but like you know more than what like is on the surface. And for me, it's like and like for me, it's like I know there's before, and I know that there will be an after, but like I don't really delve into it.
You don't know like the other like little details of like the other stuff. And
That
that's the thing I never really knew either. Like I always thought the movies were mainly it, and there was just a couple of books. But when I started looking into it, I was like, oh my God, why are we not getting this in like movie or TV form or something? And seeing those cinematics for the Old Republic, fucking hell. Oh my God.
It would be like,
there you go. You got a little compliment.
Oh,
my good friend, Life Upgrade.
I've seen that. Thank you, Life Upgrade. I do need a life upgrade. No, but
you are the life upgrade, man.
Well, that's perspective. But like, someone just said, "Have I watched Cobra Kai?" And I don't want to give the. I don't want to say. I haven't watched.
You just had a spicy cheese omelet. Damn, nice. I had a Five Guys burger.
No, but I haven't actually watched Cobra Kai, but. I've literally watched every single video of Jacob's, and like I feel like I've almost watched it without watching.
You're living vicariously, kind of like through me, with these videos.
It's like a secondhand story. It's like
yeah. I remember the comment you put in the latest video. I think you said something about they need to have Silver saying he's a spy just to slap all the theorists in the face.
Yeah, I feel you know like how some characters were like. Break the fourth wall without actually breaking it. Like they will acknowledge real life context.
Yeah.
And that's what it seems like this like spy versus not spy Hawk conversation is like alluding to. Or like because harking back to Rick and Morty, we was watching me and my girlfriend was watching like the last like 5 episodes of the season, I can't remember, like 4. And it's like it acknowledges itself within like context of like Fall Guys, like that game, and just like actual context, maybe like COVID, blah blah blah. And it's oh, we can't go out. I'm like, COVID, and then they say it. I'm like, oh, like when things aren't grounded in their own creativity, and like they actually take into account life.
Yeah.
It makes it more like the hell. Why? Like, how does he know? And it's like, wait, there's humans behind this drawing and animation.
Yeah. It's like there's people. They know. Man, I need to get on Rick and Morty, man. I've been recommended by so many people, but I've never got around to watching it. Yeah.
You know what? That happens to me. Yeah, so get to it. But like one of my best mates, he pitched it to me in the sense of like, imagine like a show where like everything happens and like it has its own art style, its own like thought, like the way it flows, everything is like, unique, and when it like takes digs, you know, like how Family Guy would take digs at like other real life things or shows.
It
does that in a more PG version because obviously it's on Netflix. They can't do like a Family Guy with like racist or political.
Yeah, they can't do that. Oh, don't worry, Tech Refresh, he'll be back. Carry on, buddy.
Is he talking about Ty?
Yeah. I mean, they called him a cuddly. One of them called him a cuddly bear.
Everybody boo. Okay, boo. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like, you know, anytime I get that now, I just go, boo! Hey, Jeopardy! Boo!
No, but I think I'll watch it because that happened to me with like Mandalorian. Like at first I was like, Star Wars spin-off, it's appealing.
I guess you can kind of say that I have a bit of a sway on you in terms of what you watch.
Yeah.
Got you back into Fast and Furious, got you back on Star Wars. might get you into Cobra. Same with Stuart. Like he got into Fast and Furious a few years ago. Like, and I got him into it. And I think that's why he prefers like the newer ones, because they're more like sort of what he would look for in that kind of film.
Because it's
and I got him into the Karate Kid films and stuff.
See, here's the thing with like, for me, if I don't like, for example, MCU, I've never watched like anything past Iron Man 2, Iron Man 1, probably the first one. Yeah. But like, I'm like OG. I love Spider-Man 1, 2, 3. But like, for me, my MCU is Spider-Man 1, 2, 3 with Tobey Maguire. And then that is it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, as one of the extreme kind of fans of the MCU, this is where it gets confusing, because the Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 you're talking about is a completely separate Spider-Man, and then the X-Men that you're talking about is another completely separate universe, and then the MCU is another completely separate universe. Like, if you're kind of like a casual watcher or a newcomer, it can be pretty daunting. But there's so much.
That's so many. Why I've never watched it, because it's not like something where for me I could just like watch and chill.
Yeah, it's not something you could just pop in on the fly like a random movie or whatever. It's like there's so many to watch.
The detail is insane, and for me, I know what kind of person I am, and my attention span, and I focus to movies is like this big, like I'm always like, I'll be on my phone, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, every day I'm shuffling, but
damn straight, Tech. Whoa, fuck. Hit the wrong button. But it's one of them things. Like, and I do worry for like newer fans as well, because I mean, aside from all the Spider-Man movies, aside from all the Blade movies, aside from all the X-Men movies, the Fantastic Four movies, the Fantastic Four remakes, you've got 23 movies in this MCU saga and multiple shows. And then you've got even more, and then even more. Like, and then the problem that they have, like, if you've kept up to it up to this point, like I have, it's not so bad because you're watching stuff and you know where you are in the timeline. But they're releasing stuff where, boo! Everybody in the chat booed because they haven't seen Psych and Cobra Kai. My whole channel's dedicated to Cobra Kai. What are you talking about? But because there's I forgot what I was going to say now. Pants. Throwing me off my point in the chat. You're throwing me off my point. I was going to make such a great point, and there we go. You kind of know where you are in the timeline if you're caught up, but if you're a newcomer, it's hard to explain that. Right, this is before that, but this is after this, and this is before these 5 movies. This takes place in this movie, and the second half of this movie takes place after that movie. Like, it can get really confusing, really, really confusing, really confusing very fast. Mohammed, you have a strong obsession with booing today.
He must be.
Don't worry though. Ouch. Jacob is that's because I'm Jacob. I'm the. Come on, it's me.
I mean, it's not like you have a YouTube channel that's like.
It's not like Fast and Furious and Cobra Kai videos. Didn't have a hand in it. But it's one of them things where it's just very strange. Like, hard to introduce to a newcomer.
I think it's not an excuse, but like, that's my kind of thing. That's the barrier, because I feel like if I watch like the first, let's say I just watch Iron Man because I believe that's the first one.
Yeah. Best one.
Like obviously the first Iron Man, but like, because I've watched that a few times, I feel like if I watch that, the ball gets rolling, because I'm going to be like, there's like credits scenes and all this stuff, and I'm going to be like,
you've got like mid-credit scenes and end-credit scenes and all that. There you go. What football team you on? You don't want to say, do you?
No.
You don't want to say, do you?
Arsenal.
You don't want to say.
It's been a depressing 5 years, man.
So, what team are you, sir? Oh, We have a bit of a connection
Arsenal,
problem.
But when you're Jacob, wait,
There you
I think I just like, but yeah, that's for Arsenal, and it's depressing. But I'm not Chelsea like this man.
Like this astounding individual is what I believe
No,
you're
yeah,
about to say. What's that?
No, I was gonna say that's one thing like I picked up on recently. Is that you're actually so charismatic.
Everybody booed Jacob for not watching chat with Zachary. Yeah, oh god, here we go. We're starting to boo me on that now. As you were saying,
I think Misa suggested sorry, which means sorry for being an Arsenal supporter. I don't know. It's a sad loss.
it's all good fun in the chat. Could be a Tottenham supporter. Could be worse. We both hate Tottenham, so
yeah. What do you think of Tottenham?
Shit.
But yeah, like for me, I feel like that'll probably be what I do after my exam, like after I've done that, like just delve into MCU, and then I'm probably gonna send you messages like, Jacob, why did I not start like 5-10 years ago?
Why did you not start this sooner? Yeah, like that's the thing with it. Once you kind of start taking the ride, you can't get off unless
because you know that what it could have been,
or you get fatigued. Like that can happen. That can
because
happen.
In school in sixth form, in business class, there's like 4 of us, and all the other 3 people loved MCU. The teacher loved MCU. I'm like this.
So you're just sat there like the dude that's just kind of like.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, Dark Knight is my best like superhero movie, blah, blah, blah. And like,
yeah,
that was all I could bring to the table.
The MCU, and you know, major fan of both, but ultimately, at the end of the day, I can say this with full truth that as good as the MCU is, it still doesn't touch the Dark Knight.
You think?
No. The Dark Knight is one of the best films I think I've ever seen ever. Like just the Joker, Heath Ledger, everything. It's perfect.
It's to a T, 10 out of 10. Like there's nothing that
just can't beat it.
And you know, Christian Bale, right?
Yeah,
it's funny because.
Cheers, Alex.
Chosen's the charismatic one, but you know, Christian Bale in American Psycho.
Yeah.
Me and my girlfriend watched that maybe like 6 months ago, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, I think it's a really good movie, and like the way it is, and like it could just be a whole dream sequence. Like if you go into like the theories of it, and I was like, this man's played like him, American Psycho.
Christian Bale is probably one of the greatest working today.
Like, I think he doesn't get as much recognition as he deserves, but that's just because of like his roles. Like, it's probably like, oh, Batman, and that's it.
Yeah, they probably just see him as Batman. I think Alex here makes a great point. The Dark Knight isn't my cup of tea. I prefer more light-hearted stuff, and I think that's the thing with the MCU. Like, there's certain scenes, especially in Infinity War and Endgame, you either get choked up, you feel a bit, or you start crying like a big fat baby. But for the most part, there's a lot of lightheartedness in it. The Dark Knight in itself, it doesn't have a lot of that. It has a lot more like realistic stakes. It has a lot more of the psychological effects of how far can the Joker push Batman? How far can he push him? And it's one of the, it really cements, right? I always say this. People say that the Joker's not a good villain. And I say, well, why? And they say, because he's not like, he's not like Superman's villain Zod, where they go and fight it out in the parking lot or something with superpowers. And I say, right, true. But he's not fighting Batman with punches. He's fighting him with his mind. He's fighting him psychologically. He's challenging his ideals, his beliefs, his core fundamental existence of, I won't kill, people can be reformed, and I'm just going to beat the shit out of criminals. And the Joker pushes them in that direction because it's fun.
That's a really good point, like in the way you make it, because if you think about it, there's been one time when like they were like close, which is in like the gets called like prison or like the police jail kind of thing, where like they have like the 1-to-1, and he's
The
just there
interrogation
laughing.
scene. Yeah.
Yeah, and like
I love that scene.
that scene is insane, and I think that was all like scripted, wasn't it? No, not scripted. It was like compromise. What's the improvised? That's it. Where like he's just
Improvised,
laughing. He's just like laughing in the cell. But anyway,
Mm.
like with him, with Joker, it's like it's never like one-on-one physical. It's always like I'm like 5 steps ahead, and now you got to come chase me. But
Yeah.
with like his other villains and stuff, it's like Scarecrow and like the Penguin guy.
Yeah.
It's more like
He
the
still has to
physical.
overcome psychological stuff with people like Scarecrow, but at least he can punch his way out of it. With the Joker, it's not that at all. It's just psychological battle.
But definitely he.
Yeah, that's true, Tech. It's all about like personal preference and what your genre is. I mean, one of the benefits of the MCU is it kind of has like an open spread of every kind of genre in one. But I think The Dark Knight for me isn't just one of the best superhero films. It's one of the most realistic in the aspect that if the superhero existed in the real world, how would people react to him? Most people would look at the Batman and think, oh, he's cool. But society would say, right, so you're going to protect this vigilante instead of us, and all that kind of stuff. And that's what the Joker really pushes. And it's one of my favorite things about the movie, is just, and not only that Christopher Nolan's one of the only directors who actually changes IMAX to different like ratios of screen in the right way. I think Michael Bay just does it for the sake of, let's put it in IMAX. Let's just just put every scene in IMAX. Why don't you? And then just change the aspect ratio again for no reason. But Nolan has like an actual reason for doing it. But ultimately, I just love the film from start to finish, and it's a long film, but it's one of them ones that will stand the test of time, and it's always in people's top 10 for most of their movie lists. Because it's that good.
Do you have it's kind of hard. Do you have a top 10? Because
superhero movies or movies
generally.
Oh, right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cheat. For Star Wars,
just say 3 maybe.
Oh, I'm going to try and do a top 5 in no particular order. I'm going to count Empire Strikes Back. I'm going to count all the Star Wars movies in one, just because I always change my opinion on what's the best. So I'll get the Star Wars, the Harry Potter out of the way, just because that's obvious. But aside from those other movies, I'm going to say Inception number 1. Love that movie.
You took my number 1.
Terminator 2. That Dark Fate decided to piss all over. But Terminator 2. 3, Shawshank Redemption. Love that movie. Incredible. 4, I'm going to go Saving Private Ryan. I think that is the most gritty, realistic take on any war film that I think I've seen that actually covers it so well. Dunkirk's the kind of film you watch if you want the experience, but Saving Private Ryan was the shit. And I think 5 would probably have to be The Dark Knight. Like those films I can pop in on a fly and just watch whenever, especially Inception. Watched it the other day.
The replay, it's for me, it's always like about the replay factor, because there'll be like a movie you can watch once and that's it, and you will always remember it because it was that good. But like Dark Knight, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Fast and Furious, it's like rewind. But like with Inception, it left me like I couldn't sleep.
It basically mind fucked you, didn't it?
Yeah,
and you don't notice until you rewatch the film that the actual opening is the ending.
Yeah,
like the opening is the ending. Like when you're watching it for the first time, you're thinking,
what am I watching?
What? And then when you watch it, like when you get to the end, you still don't get it. But then you watch it a second time, you're like, I get it. I get it now. This is the ending, but at the front, Nolan, you genius.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm getting like shivers about it, thinking about that movie, because like I was sleeping the day I watched it, and obviously with like everyone has their thing for Leo's character, it was the spinning top.
Yeah.
Reality or not? And I was like, I was in bed and I was like touching my girlfriend. I was like, "Is this real? Are we alive?" Like thinking.
Yeah, it was like the
I was
Matrix
like,
effect, really, innit? It was just like, do we even know we're awake?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, wait,
because it's real. Like that's what's great about Nolan's work is he uses stuff that's influenced by real shit, and Inception is real. Like, you know, when we've all had it, whenever you wake up from a dream, like you're on, like you fall or something, and then you wake up like that. Like, have you ever had that? That's what they call the kick in Inception. They call the kick where they like make you jump like that because it snaps you out of it. Like that's real. It's real.
That's movie. That's cinema. Like, because from like with sleeping as well, like I'm really like fidgety and stuff. And then like when you're watching like something that's kind of like that movie is like there to challenge how you think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you're like, wait, this is just not
real.
Yeah,
you're not just watching it, you're thinking about it while you're watching it.
I feel like I'm in it and like I'm thinking of like the butterfly effect. If this happens, then there's all these
then does it lead to this kind of thing? Yeah.
But then if you don't do that, then everything below is
everything below is a little bit of a cluster.
And
1917 is really good. Life Upgrade. I really enjoyed watching that one. Indiana Jones in my top 20 movies list. We don't talk about the fourth. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Yeah. Yeah. Damn straight. I'm gonna get copyrighted. But yeah, the original trilogy is.
I've never watched them all the way through, to be honest.
No, I haven't seen them in so long. My friend that loves them. Yeah, that's it. It's like, you know, dreams feel real while you're in them. But what's very haunting to me is in the scene where he says, you know, let me ask you a question. Whenever you're in a dream, you don't remember the beginning. You always wind up somewhere in the middle. So how did we get here? And I was like, Nolan, you're speaking my language. Like, he speaks to you, like, in a way, because that whenever you dream, you don't remember the start. You just end up there. And that's what's kind of funny about it, is it's very real. There's
like a parallel with life as well. Like when you're a couple of weeks, months old, your conscious cannot go far, like that far to think about like doing nothing and just being like dependent.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, wait, 2, now you're 3 years old, and now you're like talking, and now you're like communicating, and you're like, wait, what happened with like those like chunks before?
Yeah. What happened with that space of time where I was just, you know, Google Gaga? And it's crazy because one of the things that always confused me about the film, and I needed a couple of rewatches to actually get it, is the wife. I was like, I don't get the wife. I don't understand it. And I can understand now that essentially they were both in the dream state for so long that when they woke up, she didn't accept that as her reality. The dream was her reality, and she wanted no part of it. So she thought by killing herself, she'd wake up. So she committed suicide. And then obviously, because they're back in the real world, you know, real consequences. He got in trouble. He got, you know, blamed for her death and all that. Stop commenting, boo. Jesus, dude. And then, you know, that was quite interesting. Like, I didn't piece it together at first. At first, I just thought, is this like a figment of his imagination or what the fuck? But then you actually get it at the end of the film.
I didn't know that she committed suicide. Can't I?
Yeah, like I didn't realize till I did a rewatch of it. I was like, oh, she killed herself because she thought she would wake up. She thought she was still dreaming. Like that's how powerful. Yeah, they were in the dream for so long that it felt like that was her reality, and she couldn't accept the reality when she came back to it. So it's sort of like a meta way of saying dreams are cool, but you don't want to live in them. You know, you want to come back to reality. You know. Then get on Psych and Chuck and I'll stop. Well, I can't watch them like right this second. I'm a little bit preoccupied here, but I will watch them. Don't worry. I am a film buff. I shall watch it. I shall watch it.
No, I was actually going to say like I never actually had that. I didn't even know like that's what happened to her because I thought it was like this one.
Maybe I'll keep you posted, Joe Vader.
Well, to be honest, I will need to go to bed soon because I've got to take the wife to work.
Oh, fine dining for 2 in the morning. McDonald's breakfast.
That was actually yesterday.
Ha! Sausage and egg McMuffin, darling.
Yeah,
With a hash brown.
Great. Oh,
that's great. That's goals right there. That's goals.
Yeah,
that's goals.
It was like, yeah,
that's what it's been cool. It's been great having you on. Like it's great for these guys in the chat because they get to meet another one of my boys. But it's great for us because I've missed talking to you, man.
We haven't been on the phone for so long, and like for me, it's weird because like on here it feels so weird, like because all I'm used to is like
everybody thinks you're married.
No, I'm not, but like
not yet.
I think not yet, but it's like the UK kind of thing. Oh, got my wifey, got my Julie, sort of.
Yeah. It's how we just say in the UK, you know, got my wifey, got my side piece.
Oh,
but yeah, it'll be oh man, I tell you what though, when the gyms reopen, man, the amount of anger and frustration I have for wanting to take that anger and frustration out on the weights and everything, I cannot wait, man. No pun intended. I cannot wait.
Cannot wait. No, me neither, because
I'm gonna be ripping them things apart.
I don't know about you, but for me, I think there's like a very strong correlation. Nice to meet you too, Lisa. Add me on Instagram. Check it. There's like a strong correlation between going gym and like mental health. For me, maybe, but like others probably don't realize because they've never been or like are into it. But like from myself and probably you included, when you go that hour and a half,
it makes all the difference.
Yeah, like I take myself out of like Luke, the person who's like a young professional, and problems.
It's your own like space.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and then you go see people, like random people that you never met before. You start talking to them. Oh, they do this.
Yeah, they're like that guy that comes over telling us jokes. Remember that dude? You see, you had your headphones in, and I had one out, and I was like, "Oh shit!" Now I have to hear it. If you're ending now, take a 20-minute break, then stream. Don't worry, I'll stream the Cobra Kai game tonight. I'm probably going to be up for another couple hours anyway. I'm off work tomorrow, so I'm off work tomorrow, so I can just stream. Don't worry, I'll do it. Say the Dimitri speak. Hey, pussies. But yeah, I mean, for me, the gym is just such a space where I could just be in tune with my own. And plus, you know, being in your company in the mornings was always fun.
Honestly, I really. That's true.
Facts.
Like for it became like our routine. It was like when I was in sixth form, and you was starting your chosen.
You were
back when it was.
Yeah. You were in sixth form, and I was like having prospects of like starting the channel, and I remember you like writing it down, like Jacob's podcast, your ideas, and all that. It's crazy looking back on it, isn't it? It's just it's nuts.
Well, he went with it, and like in my head, I was like, wait, Jacob's really going for this, and let's say like the first year, not much really happened, and then things like traction, and then you found your niche with like Cobra Kai, boom. Now you have insane fan base, and with YouTube, we've all seen it. The growth is like exponential, and you're like at that like little peaking phase, and then whatever comes next is what we're all about to watch and see, which will be the next
chapter.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like you've closed the chapter of like trial and error. What does Jacob actually?
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time with like ideas and shit like that, and now I know kind of what works and what doesn't. And damn straight, you see, look, I mean, just a simple idea of chosen live. Damn straight.
Makes my Monday. I watch those every Monday when I start work. I'm like, if I'm in time for work.
I'm in, let's listen to Jacob. It's sort of like, I feel like, when you watch those like podcasts or those radio shows of those guys who like, welcome everybody, it's 7 a.m. and I'm talking weekly digest. And then they're just talking like shit for an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I've never watched Cobra Kai, but like most of the comments are about that because
that's where most of the niche definitely came from.
Yeah, that's where people.
I've got a couple of the OG subscribers from the old days. Mariam's one of them, and a couple of the others, but most are from Cobra Kai. But that's why I haven't made myself like Cobra Kai specific, just because if like I'm really gonna pursue the acting stuff once COVID's all done.
You have to.
And really go full throttle with that. So I don't want the channel to be specific to one topic because otherwise the content, it's too much for me to do by myself. So with it being more general, I can really sort of generate my own kind of creative space.
Like that's it's good that you already kind of have that like awareness, because if you're gonna only do Cobra Kai, there'll be a time where season 6 comes and it's ended.
Yeah.
There's
that's what my whole video was about the other day with the people leaking and the spoiling. It's like, I get it, but like we know why you're leaking and spoiling it is because we're so far from season 4.
Yeah,
you want the content, and you see, I'm good enough to make content without leaks. But
yeah, and then that's the thing. And then when season 6 is over, there's no more content for you to make content on, bar theories or like
or bar like character or just analyzing the story that's been told, isn't it? And I'll still do that. Like I'll still happily talk about it from time to time, even when it's finished. But ultimately, what's the topic for Chosen Live number 12? Not sure yet. I want to see acting stuff on the channel. You should subscribe to Actors Academy, the biggest YouTube channel for acting. I'll check them out. Tech. What was I saying? But yeah, like I that's why I do a mixture of other videos. Like I did one on Mortal Kombat. I did one on Fast and Furious. Just because I like to keep
the reactions.
Yeah. Oh god, that was old school, wasn't it? Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Brutality. But I like to sort of keep it general, and I try and keep it in the videos as much as possible. That as much as I love talking about Cobra Kai, it's not it's not forever.
You're already in a niche. You don't need to go down deeper, because Jacob will then only be Jacob Cobra Kai, and then what happens when the universe
just becomes stale?
And let's be honest, the film and industry, like filming actor industry, is like infinite. There's something for everyone, and that's what you're filling. That void is like, let's just do everything, because you need to have your perspective. Boom. When you go for you
mean like the gym?
I'd
say about an hour or two.
90 minutes, plenty.
Yeah, about 90 minutes was our kind of limit. These Geek Talk shows are great. Thanks, Chosen Vader.
But for me, I think
Miguel still.
Life Upgrade, if you're like saying about work, for like me, I'm a PM, which is like project manager. Like I'm up at like maybe 7, and I'll have like a workout, whatever, log on at 8 a.m. and then probably get off at like 6 p.m. Like my emails would be on after anyway. Then I'm like studying for my exam. And then
good luck with that, by the way, mate.
Thank you.
You're gonna fucking smash it, is what you're gonna do.
Yeah. And then like once that's done, apply to a new job, and then I can start focusing on like what I want to do rather than like passing a fucking exam. But that's what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's hard. I think if you're really motivated or like you're passionate, you put in hours. Like
you put in the hours. I mean, that's just that's what I told these guys in any stream I've done, is that I don't mind staying up till 3 a.m. doing stuff for the channel or working on acting. Like a couple of weeks back, I had an audition deadline for one of the drama schools that I applied to, and I completely forgot the date. And the deadline was literally within 5 hours. I banged the audition out there and then edited it, sorted it out, uploaded it, stayed up an extra 3 hours till like nearly 3 a.m. just because I thought, we're getting it done. I'm taking the gamble. We're doing it. And I feel like if you have that, it's because there's something within you that has a fire for something else. And, Stuart's not here now, so I can't really say it to him, but I've told him many times, I believe we are who we surround ourselves with. And I think me meeting this handsome dude here, sweet, was a big component of the motivation to really sort of push on with my stuff. Like seriously, Luke, without you, man, like meeting you in the gym, I had literally just been out of college for a couple of years. I'd just been mostly at that shop. I'd kind of lost my way, and talking to you again, and you had like all this passion and this hunger. I thought, damn straight, that's it, right there. And then I just got G'd up. I got G'd up to get back on my grind.
But I think, that's like my thing is like, for me, is
no, he leaves that stuff to me.
Myself. No, that's yeah. But no, what I was gonna say is like, for me, I've always wished I had someone like that for me. Like I have, but it's more family. But like I always wish like there was like one person in your friendship circle or whatever that was like gonna push you, or like if you had this idea and here's the cliff, I'm pushing you off. Yeah, I'm pushing off the cliff. Go swim, like learn.
Yeah. It's like I don't even know how to swim. You'll learn.
Yeah, exactly. And like going back to the thing we said, that deadline. I think it's like Parkinson's law, which is like work fills and expands as to the time you allot to it. So let's say you have like a deadline for like a month away. Most people will make it take a month, but if you're like me who wants to get everything done, you do it within like a couple of days, and then you realize you have all this like buffer, and then finding what kind of person you're like. If you're like a lastminute.com person, then you have to kind of like program yourself to like
you have to condition yourself to be at peak efficiency if you get to that level
at a certain time.
At a certain time. And I find I'm always fluctuating between the two. Like if like that time, for example, if I leave it to the last minute, you're going to get one like an Oscar winning performance from me, because like it's last minute, I'm under pressure, and the way I respond to pressure, and I think the shop kind of helped with it a little bit, because before you met me, I was literally shy as hell, closed off, couldn't talk to women. I'd go, hi. Now I'm like, hey, baby. But it sort of allowed me to deal like more, be more proactive with situations. So I go, right, okay, I've got 5 hours. What can I achieve in these 5 hours that gets it done? And most times because like I don't feel like doing a video every day, because it can be pretty like when I come home from work, like if I've had a shit day, I just want to sit there, chill, and just play GTA and do nothing else, or FIFA or whatever. But not even FIFA, that pissing me off. I just sit there and watch a movie. As you know. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll do one day of like just hard work and grind. Well, I'll do like 7 videos and I'll schedule them for the week. So then even if I miss a day, I can just go to bed going, I got a video uploading.
Yeah, simple.
Yeah.
It's like you're working one full day for those 7 days. Simple.
You should go for that, Mohammed. You should go for that, man. Keep us posted on that. You should go for that 100%.
Yeah, definitely. I think
all your passion.
Going back to that point, like about being a professional, like for me, I want to be like really practical in terms of like get like, my job next job will be like really high paying, and then scale that up, because all I want to do is then take that money and then build myself, like
and build yourself from that.
Because in today's generation, like there's only a few ways like you're gonna be really big or grow, like YouTube, blah blah. But
yeah,
I think do it practical, understand, have real business skills, have understanding, and then that's where you derive value. And then that's when like those 10, 15 years culminate into
hard work really pay off.
Yeah, and then it all happens in 1 year, and like that's it.
That's it. It takes. But that's it. You got it. I mean, you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, with everything that's like, I mean, I've not got a major following, but with everything that's gone on with the channel thus far, I am so happy that I actually made the decision. Like, because I stopped doing YouTube for a while. I got to the point where I said, you know what, I can't even be fucking arsed anymore. This is just boring.
Like 6 months. It was like 6 months of nothing.
Like 6 month break. And then I thought, right, Cobra Kai's on the horizon. Fast and Furious is on the horizon. I got quite a few good, decent views for a few of them Fast 9 vids. I think one was on like 30K nearly. And then I thought, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to take the plunge. And this time I know what works and what doesn't. I'm going to go in, balls to the wall. And now we're here. And now I get comments like this.
Well, you did actually upload some like the Marvel videos. You uploaded like some of like the Marvel movie clips, and I remember like in our group chat on like WhatsApp, I was like, "Oh my god, it's got 10,000, 100,000, 300,000," and like one was like close to like 1 million.
Yeah.
like the deleted scenes or whatever.
Just a
I was
shame I
like,
couldn't monetize all that stuff. Today is the day where Purple Hawk has Jacob Rage. Yeah. But I mean, it was mostly trial by error with that one, because what I was doing was seeing how the algorithm actually responded. I was never going to keep the clips on the channel just because you can't. But I thought, you know what? Let's see how this works. And then I was like, right, this could be a good time to upload. This could be the right way to do the thumbnails. This could be the right way to do the titles. And then from there, it was a learning curve, and now we're here.
yeah, you definitely have like a style for the thumbnails, and I think
Badass,
obviously, one, consistency and branding, but like two is like you've kind of like taken bits from like other people in this field, like in like the film and acting industry or whatever, reactions, blah blah blah, and it's like, wait, they do it like this, but like let's do it like this. Yeah, simple. It's simple market research, and like
that's exactly it.
You probably take like 10 minutes to like search up people that you follow yourself, and like, wait, how did they do it? Okay, Jacob is that way. So
market research. That's it. That's what it is. And you know, it's you see, we're like a yin and yang in it, big positive influence on each other, you know. And here's the thing, this is what I'm most excited for, is you're 20 now, right? 19?
Yep.
19. You see, you're 19, I'm 23, nearly 24. 10 years from now, I'm going to be 34, you're going to be like 30 almost. Think of where we're going to be.
I think of it every day. Can't lie.
Like, seriously, it actually excites me that there's people I know who are in their 30s who are still doing the same stuff they did when they were either my age or your age or around our ages. Like, just the where we're going to be, if, like, you know, God willing, is going to be insane. You know, like it's going to be great.
Honestly, that's like one of my kind of biggest anxieties. Is like that exact thought is like, wait, Luke, in like 10 years, like I can't even fathom, because there's so many decisions. No way.
49.
Because there's like so many decisions that you're going to make, and the fact that they're going to literally make you change your life, and like I can't even like process it, because I just know like it will like I
mean, potential is a real thing. Potential is a real thing. I see the potential of both of us just being incredible.
Don't you like have this thing in your head where like remember
what's this? Ant colonies. How you doing, mate? I remember when I turned 10, I wondered where I was going to be in 10 years. I'm 22 and I'm not where I imagine I'd be.
I think,
yeah, I can relate to that.
I have an answer for that. One is never put like a time restriction on what you want to do or achieve.
Yeah, of course.
Because let's say like, oh, I want to make like £1 million or whatever in like
16, Mohammed. You got years.
Oh yeah, you're young, you're a baby. But like when you think like, okay, I want to make like £1 million in like 2-3 years, you're not going to make it in that long. Like obviously some people will. There's anomalies, but
yeah.
Think, like,
but most average people
make it. Yeah, just think like, I just want to make it, and then what your actions are.
Yeah,
you write it down. How am I going to do it? There's hundreds of ways.
I'm going to show you a little trick that Luke has. I've actually been inspired by you, Luke. I'm going to show you a little trick. Right, and now this is something that I feel is very underrated in the world of achieving goals. And
yes,
this is actually because of you. Like, I stopped using notebooks ages ago. But the reason the channel is where it is now, the reason I got back on my... Like, I applied to 3 drama schools, got a no back from one of them, still got 2 more to go. But the reason I was able to keep up to date with the schedule when I needed to submit the audition tapes and stuff by, there were when I needed to do videos, when I wanted to do scripts. There we go.
Mad.
Big list. Just like little goals each day, you know, and like don't like it's fun to shoot for the stars and stuff, but always the one thing I'll always say is focus on what you can achieve day to day. Like, what can you do today that is better for tomorrow? And I, for example, want to be in films. Now, obviously, that's the long-term goal. But the short-term goal that I can take is, right, well, I need a bit more training. So I want to try and get into some either drama schools for a full-time course, a part-time course, or something like that. And I can apply and audition for other jobs while working there just to keep the cash flow and then just keep building from there. And then obviously you with your project manager stuff, daily, bit by bit. And that's probably just the main bit of advice I could throw to everyone in the chat, And we're still young ourselves, we don't know everything of everything, but
oh no,
but we know a few things.
See, that's the thing is you have to think about it like on like a 5 to 10 year scale. We have to think about the daily scale. Like for me, just using like post-it notes, like
love a good post-it note.
Yeah, like the morning before work, I'll write down everything I need to do. Boom, it's there. Then you finish it, and you do the same thing over and over again.
And it feels there's something satisfying about looking at it and knowing, you know what,
taking off.
I'm not there, but I'm one step closer.
I think that's like one of the most satisfying things you can get in terms of
yeah. Because it's not like you have to follow them as rules, like strictly to the point where you literally have to tick it each day. But even if you just look at it for a week and you remind yourself each day, right, okay, it's Monday, I'm going to do this goal. And then by Thursday, you still haven't done it, but maybe Sunday you do it. But it's always good to have a constant reminder of, get your ass in gear. I mean, I've got videos lined up for the channel for the next 2 weeks, just because ahead of the curve.
And when you have like those processes in place, like you become so much more efficient. And then there'll be like a time where like you'll probably like offload some of the work to someone else, like editing or whatever.
Yeah. That's how some like the channels do it on like YouTube now. They're at a point now where they just say I'm hiring an editor or whatever, and then there you go.
And then you just like think, okay, how does Jacob think? Boom, pass on to the next person. You're passing on the baton.
Yeah. Literally, just like it's sort of like the ending of The Force Awakens, except that person actually takes it and runs with it. They don't go. They don't do that. They don't do that. They actually run with it, take it, and then I have to read my name as prayers. Good night. I'll see you in the Cobra Kai stream. No problem, Mohammed. I'll see you later. Yeah. I studied drama 15 minutes per day each week. I had 15 minutes in a month. It will be 1 hour per day. And I'll keep going up. Don't know what up to. In 5 months, it'll be out 5 hours per day. Well, that's good. You're setting that's a pretty hefty goal. But I wish you the best with it, mate. That's it's always good to set yourself goals, even if it's just like stuff that you're passionate about. It always makes all the difference.
Yeah. Oh, one sec.
No worries, Luke. No worries, Luke. I'll hold the chat. But yeah, it's always important to make sure that you're setting goals daily for things that you can realistically achieve bit by bit. Because it's not, these things aren't mutually exclusive. It's all a little bit of a learning curve. But let me show you guys something. Let me find it. Let me just find it. I had a page in here somewhere, and then probably round off in a minute. Okay, I had it in here somewhere. Essentially, like I just got like notes all in this book, full of everything that is essential to just daily goals. Yeah, sorry for that. Don't worry. Don't worry. But I think probably now is a good time to probably round it off. Yeah. I think that's a good message to leave on, especially if people are watching on rewatch as well. I know some people in the chat like to do that, yourself included.
Hey, what can I say?
And this is also your debut.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a weird one, like for the first time. But I think I'm rambling now because it's late.
That's good, That's good, Lisa. That's good. And just so you guys know in the chat, Luke was a big inspiration in me getting my hair, like actually having some hair. It wasn't meant to go this long, but to actually have some hair he played a big role in that.
I mean,
before bloody Jesus.
If we're like, I don't know, it's just what life is and growing up. So yeah, one of those ones.
That's it. And I think we literally just hit the 2 hour mark. Boom. So this has been the Geek Talk Show episode 2. I've been joined by Luke, who may appear on a couple more streams in future. A couple of the other guys will surely be back. Charles, Ty, Stu. I might get another guy I know on at some stage, probably just to talk, whatever. And what's great about this is it's not just us talking like movies and pop culture. We can talk to you guys about life, just like the simple things of how we can be your motivators as well. I mean, me and my boy Luke here always wanted to do some kind of thing on the tube with like these gym pages and motivations and stuff. Shepherd, not sheep. Plug. So that there's always that. But
That's
I have been the chosen one, Jacob Angel. Fucking, I sound like a WWE wrestler. Just call me Jacob. And he's been Luke.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate you. Oh, of course I appreciate it, but I appreciate being on here.
And I will see all of you in the chat in another stream soon. Take care of yourselves.
Chosen live.
Excellent to each other. Wait, what would you say?
Chosen live.
Chosen live. Stream the Cobra Kai game. Stream, but Jake, where's the game? Don't worry, it'll be there.